Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Angelica here. If you're new, why don't you come in, have a seat, have several seats, and if you're not new, thank you for having me once again, all up in your face. So I'm in such a good mood right now. This video is a long promised, long awaited video on my Oxford experience versus my LSE experience, because not a lot of 20-year-olds can say they've been at two institutions. They've studied at two universities, both world class, so it's a huge privilege to be able to make this video. And yeah, let's just get into the video, why don't we? First things first, I'm going to speak about the entry requirements. So studying law at LSE, I needed a minimum of, why am I stammering? Studying law at LSE, I needed a minimum of A-star AA. To study a normal law degree at Oxford, you need AAA. So the grade requirement is higher at LSE. But I told you guys I was basically doing like an access program. So my entry requirement was actually lower than AAA. It got lowered to ABB. But of course I didn't need that, thank God, because I actually exceeded the grades to get into LSE and Oxford. LSE is a specialist university, it's a social science university. Oxford is a general university, so it offers a lot of courses, whereas LSE only offers, like social sciences, humanities, law, philosophy, politics, economics, international relations, government, management, statistics, accounting and finance, economics, sociology, social policy, all those type of subjects. And LSE is #1 in the UK for social sciences. It's also #1 in Europe for social sciences. Oxford isn't #1 for social sciences, but I think overall it's #2. Overall, LSE is #3. I think that attracted me to LSE from the get-go. Like, most people who know LSE know it because it's good at what it does, whereas I think Oxford has a general brand in terms of, like, most people know about Oxford for the university and not really its research, not really like what it does, but more like, oh, the brand, Oxford. The strengths of LSE is obviously it's really good at what it does, social sciences, and it's a London university, so we have huge connections with the firms. We're usually headhunted by firms, especially like corporate law firms, investment banking. Because of its location as well, you have a really rich student experience at LSE. You're living in London. Literally, before I moved, like right now, I basically live next door to Oxford Street. Before I moved to where I am right now, I was living opposite the Shard. I was living opposite the Tate Modern. Like, who am I? Like, how did we get here? Like, living on these amazing streets of London. So that's perks of LSE, and just like London life, like, it's just nice to be surrounded by like literally so many people from various different backgrounds. So LSE is the most international university, so because of that, one of its strengths is also the fact that it's very international. It has a wide range of people from an amalgamation of various cultures, so that's a big thing at LSE. However, the downsides of this is that it's not a campus university. Sometimes you don't feel like you are like part of a wider student community. Kind of almost feels like you're going to like a learning centre, depending on like how involved you get in the activities. But the thing is, you kind of have to take the initiative to get involved in activity. Whereas at a campus university like Oxford, for instance, I was living in a college, I was stuck with those people in the college. You told me that was a good thing or a bad thing. We had like WOPs and formal halls and social activities, which we still do at LSE, but you can decide not to go. And sometimes there's so much going on at LSE. I feel like there's way more going on at LSE than there was at Oxford, but it's almost to a detriment because you almost can't keep up. Sometimes you don't even know that things are going on, and they're actually happening, and then you find out later and you're like, oh my god, how did you hear about that? So at Oxford, on the other hand, because it was a collegiate system, word got around, people spoke to each other, were like friends with each other, hanging out with each other. It's essentially accommodation, but like the collegiate system is different because it almost kind of becomes your identity. You identify with your college, even though it's really just accommodation, like if you think about it that way. So yeah, like that's one thing I've noticed. Oxford has that like collegiate feel. You can almost kind of feel like a community. So that is a strength of Oxford that you probably won't have at LSE. You won't have that same feeling of like allegiance with your college bodies. The teaching at LSE, in my opinion, I think it's better, but the style is different. I think it depends on who is being taught. It depends on who you are, essentially. At LSE, I think we have a good mix of like lectures and like classes. We call it classes, whereas at Oxford it was tutorials. So lectures, we all sit in, of course. We sit in, listen to a lecturer speak. We have that at Oxford as well. And then our classes, we can have up to, realistically we can like, it's hard because I don't even know who's reading my class, because the way it be, people miss their classes, then they go to the alternative sessions, they go to the catch-up ones, they basically gate crash someone else's class to go and join. But usually it will be like 7 people in a class. So we have that system at LSE, and I think I prefer this because you basically get to learn from a variety of minds, and you cover things that you won't be able to cover in a tutorial the way Oxford does it. So Oxford, it was only ever one tutor and me and my tutorial partner. So one tutor and 2 students, including me. And I think that had its strengths. Number one, you feel like there's more attention devoted to you. You might feel a bit more like challenged on the spot because you can't really hide. And I think that's a negative about LSE's tutorial system. You can hide. Like some teachers will pick on you and say, Angelica, what do you think? But for the most part, you almost can get away with not doing the reading sometimes. Like you can go to a lecture. Like I literally have a friend, she was debating someone about something she didn't read. She was debating one of our EU classes. She was debating and she's like, yo, you know I didn't even do the goddamn reading. I was like, is that not another level of confidence to go and walk into a tutorial and not do your reading and then even try and debate the goddamn tutor? Like, how? I'm gonna need you to teach us how to finesse the system in such a way. No, but like, for real guys, you can almost get away with it sometimes, and I think that the initiative is on you to basically police yourself, to smack yourself on the butt and to get to work. Whereas at Oxford, on the other hand, in a tutorial, where are you running? Where are you running? Why are you running? In fact, like, you have nowhere to go. It's you and your tutor. Like sometimes it's one-on-one. I was never in a one-on-one, but like it's either one-on-one or 1-on-2, and I think that is a big mess. Like if you don't do your reading, that is a big mess. Law is the kind of subject that you need multiple opinions to be considered for. Like for you to reach a well-rounded judgment, you really need to be able to consider more than your viewpoint, and that's the strength of LSE's I almost said tutorials. That's the strength of LSE's class system. I've said like previously that the Oxford workload that I had during that year was like stupendously, unnecessarily, complicatedly heavy. Like, but like now that I'm in 2nd year, like I'm actually doing my work diligently, I feel like LSE's workload is a lot more. I'm not sure it's because I did an access scheme, but like the access scheme was meant to be harder than the 1st year undergraduate year in terms of workload, because we had hella essays. Sometimes I'd have like 2-3 essays a week, and I would do it. I would get it done. And now I'm at LSE, like the workload is mad, but it's almost, again, it's like if you wish to do, like, take the initiative to actually do everything, then you will clock like, wow, like this was designed in such a way that you were never meant to finish it. Like this reading, you were never meant to get to the end of this reading. But fundamentally, I believe that, what was I going to say, you know when you just go off on a tangent and you have to like reel it back. What was I going to say? I believe you can't not do your essay, because you're going to discuss that essay in your class, like in your tutorial. I mean, you're going to discuss that essay in your tutorial, so you're not going to not do your essay, because what you're going to talk about in your tutorial. So that's one of the strengths of Oxford, which I think it's a strength, but it depends on who you are anyway, because some people don't want to be babied, some people don't want to feel like they're being breathed on, some people are like, they need that independence at university to teach them how to be diligent with their time. So it depends on what you prefer. This was a brutally honest video. I'm not here to sway anybody into disliking LSE or disliking Oxford or anything. Like, I'm just speaking my own experience. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!